is everyone today? Everyone doing good? Oh, yeah, my microphone should be on. Just give me a one in the chat if you can hear me. Oh, it's the end of the month. It's the end of April. Can you believe it? We're just speeding through this year. And got a couple of things to get through today. Hit that thumbs up button, like button, and hype button. There's now a hype button. Oh god, I don't know what YouTube is doing. Like, what is the difference between a hype and a like now? Apparently there's what's called a hype button. And if you hit the hype button, it increases the place where your video is in the algorithm. So now I've got to ask you lot to press the hype button. Honestly, like it's just YouTube is now just doing the most. But apparently there is a thing called a hype button. I don't know where it is, but if you see it, please hit it. Thank you, Shirley. You say you always hype me. I don't know why they're adding all of these things. It's like, why isn't the like button enough? So they want to add an extra step. Oh, anyway. Let's get through today's news. Yes, Trump and Charles and Melania and Camilla. You know, I've actually been seeing a lot of praise being given to Charles. And even from people that are generally more politically critical. And to be quite frank, it makes me sick. I have nothing positive to say about this trip. I have nothing positive to say about these people. Our countries, our governments, our halls of power are being run by clowns. There are people who are saying, oh, this is a diplomatic win. And he was, you know, he spoke in such a diplomatic manner. People even comparing him to Harry. And he spoke with such vigor in leadership. There are countries in the Middle East currently being bombed due to the imperialist, capitalist, military-backed, corrupt mindset of the United States government and its allies. There are people being wiped out in genocides right now because of the people in halls at the highest points of power. And you want me to sit here as a global citizen of this planet and praise a king, and we shouldn't even have kings in this century, for giving a cute speech. No, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. They did not meet with Epstein's victims. Nothing really was said about the victims. And as I said from the very beginning, I believe that this trip was really just about trying to get a deal for Andrew or something like that. Yes, it coincides with, you know, anniversary of the whatever, what happened between Britain and America. But ultimately, I think this whole trip was for selfish reasons. Selfish people in power, for whatever selfish agendas they have. I'm not giving praise to anybody today. I am disgusted at who we as a global population, all 8 billion of us, allow to sit at the highest seats of power. And it's people like these 4 people right here. Like, how are we not? We should all be. I know that Trump is the president of the United States. And you know, Charles is the king of the United Kingdom, but the incompetence and corruption that is on this screen right now permeates in almost every government around the world, with the exception of very few countries. We should all be collectively so much more embarrassed and furious. Heather, you said, I love that Great Britain wouldn't even claim GB News on American soil. I mean, they sent some of their correspondence and they were just mulling around. Anyway, that is my political rant over. I just wanted to say that I have absolutely nothing positive to say about Charles because so many people I see who are generally more critical were like praising him. I'm like, praising him for what, y'all? Praising him for what? Like, do you see what's going on in the world right now? What are we praising him for? Oh, Shirley, you said when you like, it gives you the option to hype. Okay. Well, make sure you like and hype. Like and hype and subscribe. Appreciate you. Thank you for explaining. Bingo, you said he plagiarized the People's Prince's speech and he's not political. A royal cannot be political, however, when you steal your son's word, it's acceptable. It's a story for the ages, yes. And you know what? I don't even think that Charles would have mentioned some of the things that he mentioned in his speech had Harry not mentioned them in his. I think he almost felt forced to. Okay, let's have a read of I think Feminagra had a good article about it. Let's have a read of their article. Always trustworthy. Give me a sec. I think that I have to play an ad. What did you all think of what do you all think of Charles's speech so far? Also, there was a rather embarrassing moment where sorry, while I'm waiting for this article to load, there was a rather embarrassing moment where they were walking and Trump walked right in front of Camilla to shake people's hands, right in front of your guests. He cuts in front of her. Also, Trump tried to do his weird I'm a manly man handshake, and Charles actually wasn't having it. They looked like they were arm tugging and arm wrestling. Anyway, Charles came to America to talk about shared democratic principles. He stood before Congress, invoked the Magna Carta, urged support for Ukraine, and reminded everyone that America's words carry weight and meaning. Some members of Congress reportedly groaned at that line. Imagine that, a groaning reminder that your country's foreign policy actually matters. I mean, it's not... I'm not saying it's not a good thing that he said some of the things that he said, but it's like, it's in the wider scope of things, it's empty words. Meanwhile, the White House posted a picture of Charles and Trump with the caption, "Two kings." Oh yeah, this is the picture right over here. Two clowns. Buckingham Palace has lost control of the optics. Royal visits are supposed to be choreographed down to the angle of every handshake. The flag placements, the seating arrangements, the carefully worded speeches, all designed to project stability, dignity, and the illusion that Britain still matters on the world stage. Charles was weeded out like a diplomatic perfume to mask the stench of a strange special relationship. I mean, who, you know, this whole talk about the special relationship, who does that actually benefit at this point, other than these people on the screen right here, other than the people in the halls of power? Mind you, throughout all of this ongoing war with Iran, there is very, very clear market manipulation and stock betting going on, and predetermined bets, and people are literally making hundreds of millions right now. Insanity. But you want to talk about some special relationship? How are we the people benefiting? But someone forgot to tell the White House social media team to behave, because while Charles was delivering polished lines about Ukraine's most courageous people and the weight of American leadership, Trump's interns were busy turning the whole thing into a meme. Two kings, not president and monarch, not allies in democracy, kings, plural, as if Donald Trump, a man who has spent years hinting at staying beyond 2 terms, attacking the judiciary, and demanding personal loyalty from his administration, already wears a crown. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. And you know, all of this stuff that Charles is talking about, diplomatic principles, yada yada yada, is useless. Because yes, indeed, as the article says, Trump has spoken about wanting to stay, beyond office, or beyond what office would typically allow. Sorry, I meant to say. And that's the other thing that just makes this trip so ridiculous. It's like you're talking to a brick wall. And you know full well you're talking to a brick wall, but you still came. This is an insult both to the people of the United Kingdom and to the people of the United States. The good people of both countries. Then Charles went to Congress and warned Republicans about the dangers of kingship. You know, a better warning to Congress about the dangers of kingship would be him, first of all, refusing to come in the first place and putting out a statement saying that the ridiculous behavior of this administration is such that it would not be a good idea for me to come to the United States in the first place. That would have sent a much stronger message about the so-called dangers of kingship, or just a stronger message in general. I will not participate in this clown show when citizens of the United States are being shot in the face. An actual hereditary monarch, a man who inherited his job because his mother lived a very long time, stood in the United States Capitol and gently reminded the most powerful politicians on earth about how the shared principles of the Magna Carta, that document about limiting the power of the crown, and Republicans applauded. The power of the crown clearly is not limited. It still is very much in full force. You know why? Because we're not even talking about Andrew anymore, and 6 million emails are not a single darn arrest. Including Charles's brother. Well, he was arrested and then released. We don't even know what's happening with Andrew. They applauded the king, telling them that unchecked power is dangerous, while backing a president who portrays himself as king. I cannot make this up. Exactly. This is a slap in the face to everyone. Trump, of course, got exactly what he wanted. He loves this stuff. The pageantry, the military bands, the Revolutionary War uniforms, the flight-to-jet flyover. It makes him look historic. It gives him a photo op, which he can use to convince his base that he belongs on a throne. The two kings post was not a mistake. It was a flex. Trump's White House knows exactly what it is doing, turning every diplomatic moment into a piece of personal branding. And Buckingham Palace reportedly fuming. They thought they had managed the narrative. They forgot that no one manages the narrative when the other side runs its communications like a meme account on Adderall. But before the visit even began, the District of Columbia of Transportation managed to line the streets with Australian flags instead of British ones. Oh my gosh. 15 of them, oh my gosh, for the King of England, oh my gosh. Australia's ceremonial head of state, by the way. So at least they got the Commonwealth connection right by complete accident. Oh, I don't have a picture of that, I'm afraid, but oh my goodness. Imagine. The error was a metaphor for the entire trip, supposed to be polished, ended up in a mess. We always knew this trip was going to be a mess. Charles preached democracy while Trump played king. But the visual of the visit was two old men in suits, one of whom inherited his job, the other who acts like he owns the country and the world. The White House posted two kings because that is how Trump sees himself. And the British monarchy, for all of his talk of soft power and diplomatic nuance, just became a supporting actor in Trump's reality show. Exactly. And you should have known that's exactly what you would have become, given the way Trump has acted for the entirety of his presidency so far, and even in his last one, tweeting at all hours of the night. treating real life warfare, real life people dying, like it's a video game. Posting pictures of himself with Jesus. The utter blasphemy of it all. The special relationship is not special. It is a comedy of errors with better tailoring. Charles flew across the Atlantic to remind America about shared principles, the rule of law. What shared principles do we even have at this point with an orange dictator? He delivered a speech that would have made Winston Churchill nod approvingly, or more accurately, made Prince Harry raise an eyebrow. Just last week, Harry told Ukraine, history will not ask what we knew or what we said, it will ask what we did. Then Charles stood before Congress and said, the world may little note what we say, but will never forget what we do. Same sentiment, different font. A king plagiarizing his exiled son, that is a new level of royal desperation. And after all that, the only thing anyone will remember is the White House calling Trump a king. Buckingham Palace can fume all at once, but when you lie down with meme happy presidents, you wake up with crown emojis. Exactly. And just a reminder that absolutely nobody was asking for this trip. Nobody has gained anything significant from this trip. The only thing that has happened is that Charles looks like a fool standing next to an orange clown. That is literally the only thing that has come from this trip. Please, somebody in the comment section, name me one useful thing, even in terms of diplomacy, that has come from this trip. I'm absolutely convinced a lot of these politicians and diplomats do this nonsense for their own sense of self-importance. This could have been an email or a Zoom meeting. This could literally have been an email or a Zoom meeting. Then you got the wives out here in their silly hats. The visit was supposed to be about diplomacy. Instead, it became a pageant of empire, ego, and bad optics. Charles warned America about forgetting its values. Trump's team responded by posting a joke that was not a joke. And somewhere, the ghost of Manga Carter is laughing. Thank you so much to Emmy. He said, I don't condone what Andrew did, nor do I support Charles, but at least he tries to protect Andrew, but William throws Harry under the bus all the time. Well, Charles has to protect Andrew because he's also protecting himself. You gotta remember that. He's not really protecting Andrew, he's protecting himself and the institution. That's what he's protecting. Thank you so much for your super chat though, darling. Legs, how are you doing, Legs? Isn't that what Andy said to Epstein? He had to come to his home in the US to end their relationship, right? Didn't Charles pay for security for Epstein? I'm not sure about that. Was there something in the emails that suggested that Charles paid for security for Epstein? Is there a reason Charles would have paid for security for Epstein? Because Epstein was paying for Sarah's lifestyle. Maybe there's something that I missed. Could you maybe elaborate? Yet we are to believe the British royal family didn't want to meet the ends. Exactly. That exactly. They literally have a history of that. There are pictures back in the day of the royal family with the ends and the guy with the mustache. So TV said, I have a bottle of as ever sparkling wine chilling in the wine fridge for the day Trump crows. I mean, he consistently looks like he is constipated and ready to poop. TV Ord, isn't it too early to wear all white? Might as well get ahead of the news and wear all black. Silly hats and chicken butt lips. Indeed. Made ugly on the outside because of who they are on the inside. Okay. Helen, you said there is a good article in the New Statesman by former PM Gordon Brown, The Cover Up, The Prince, His Protectors, and the Questions That Must Be Answered. Ooh, I must have missed that. I will check that out. Thank you for mentioning that. All right. I have to just upload a couple of extra slides I literally made just last minute. So give me one moment, folks, while I fiddle around with this. Oops, nope, that's not it. Here we go. Okay, this is not working the way I want it to. Let's try this again. Here we go. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, while that is doing its thing, Met Gala. I don't think we'll see Harry and Meghan there. Apparently, they have had to slash the costs. They have had to slash ticket costs of the Met Gala. It's being held in New York. Lex Luthor and his wife were meant to be the heads of the Met Gala now. Honorary co-chairs and primary sponsors. Because, I mean, how many other people, organizations would be able to sponsor this thing? Very expensive. So the Met Gala, scheduled for the 4th of May, is struggling to sell out, with tickets falling in price from last year's 75,000 per seat and 350 per table. Insiders say designers are pulling back, and one source stated bluntly, the demand just isn't there. The crisis is driven by two forces: the appointment of Jeff Bezos and wife Lauren Sanchez as honorary co-chairs and primary sponsors, and the fading authority of Anna Wintour following her exit as Vogue editor-in-chief, replaced by Chloe Mail. Boycott protesters have appeared across New York, targeting Bezos over Amazon's labor practices, tax avoidance, and ties to the Trump administration. Insiders describe the event as having lost its cultural cachet. It stopped feeling aspirational and started feeling like a billionaire circus. Even the New York mayor declined his invitation publicly. With Anna Wintour's industry power waning, observers note the gala's leverage over fashion careers has diminished significantly. I mean, I think people are also just being mindful, with Jeff Bezos' involvement and, him aligning with the Trump administration. Not that, people in these circles all necessarily have a moral compass, but when it comes to their own image, I think they're just careful. And it's almost like, I feel like this year especially, it's almost like the Met Gala kind of has a target on its back. But I had thought maybe we would see Meghan there. I don't know. Beyonce is apparently scheduled to go. I mean, if she goes, I'll be excited to see what she's wearing. But my guess, if people are speculating, I don't know if she will go. I think for this year anyway, I would skip it personally from a PR perspective. But whatevs. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention, it has been said across the Twitterverse that one of Meghan's biggest trolls, Yankee Wally, actually died. I'm going to read a tweet from... This is from Anne Boleyn, aka Tudor Chick. She said, "The sad life of Yankee Wally. Phew. To think that she wasted so much of her life hating a perfect stranger and has only left behind a legacy of hatred and a community that was formed in the joy of harassing, berating and bullying another woman. What a tragedy." It was a sad life, and it's surely now a sad death. Her endowment is of misery and cruelty. I don't know how this Yankee Wally lady passed, but truly, um, truly, a sad life. I mean, to dedicate your life to just hating on one person, and I do feel like a lot of these people really have nothing going for them. And a lot of them have found an outlet through bashing Meghan. Somebody else posting, may all the lunatic trolls who spend their life online spreading disgusting, unhinged conspiracy theories about Meghan and her children end up like Yankee Wally, alone, broke, and I hope they realize that Yankee wasted what was left of her life spreading conspiracy theories and it didn't even matter in the end. Yeah, it didn't even matter in the end. She's gone. She's gone. This is the lady who was determined to prove that Meghan was faking her pregnancy. She wrote she truly believed that Meghan has never been pregnant. She also wrote that she believed that Meghan was barren and incapable of carrying a baby. She actually did an article with BuzzFeed at one point. She said, I really feel uncomfortable talking about this, but it's also extremely important that this situation is put right because of the royal line of succession. She went on to say that she wasn't happy about the possibility that she was paying for fraudulent children. Oh, no, nobody tell Yankee Wally about the other secret love children that the royals may or may not have. This is also the lady that spread surrogacy rumors about Meghan. She absolutely swore up and down that she was not a stalker. She obsessed over getting Meghan's children out of the line of succession, saying that they don't belong. No way on God's green earth would she accept that those children are Meghan's and that they were born from surrogates. Imagine spending your life focusing on this and writing things like that. What an utter sad bunch of people these trolls are. And she was just one of them. And all of that in the end for what? Lola Love, you said the Met Gala is not what it used to be. To my knowledge, Meghan has never attended. I hope she never goes. Meghan doesn't need that kind of exposure. Yeah, it really used to be like just something. I actually used to look forward to it. But it's had, I mean, some years have been better than others. I think it kind of started to flip flop a little bit when they got too many influencers involved and it kind of went away from the fashion aspect and more about popularity. Himi fan, wasn't Yankee Wally the former Madam Pimp? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she was doing with her life. I wouldn't be surprised. But I hadn't actually heard about her for some time. And I feel like there's a couple of others whose name I won't say, but who I think filled the space. But come to think about it now, it's like I haven't actually heard Yankee Wally's name for a while. The others I hear it all the time. But Yankee she was one of the OGs. Like if you're going back to Sussex Squad podcast days, she was one of the OG haters. Yeah, Black Queen. She there from day one. I used to go to her page and her followers were vile. God don't like fugly. Will not be missed. No. Will not be missed at all. Okay. Pamela, you said, I'm in the US and I'm not even sure what this whole Charles visit is about. Is it possible, hypothetically, of course, that the EpiPen files exit the USA, palace control possibility in play? That's the only reason why I believe they're there. Like I said, anybody in the comment section, would you like to tell me what the United Kingdom or Britain are benefiting from this trip? Who asked for it? Any one person can give me anything that is actually useful coming out of this trip. And you know, they're all praising Charles for mentioning Ukraine and mentioning diplomacy. But his son, Harry, is actually doing impactful work. Not just talking. That's why Harry gets the respect he gets when he goes to Ukraine. Murky, oh, Black Queen, you said Murky Meg is next. I'd even forgotten about her. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Yeah, no weapon formed against Meghan Chopropster. Leave her alone. Okay. Next thing I wanted to mention. What do we think, by the way, of Melania and Camilla's outfits? I think Melania is wearing Dior. And I think Camilla is wearing, what's she wearing? Fiona Claire. Melania actually looks half classy for once, although I don't like the ruching on the top. Camilla actually doesn't look too bad either. I would have taken off that giant necklace that they have her wearing on that burgundy dress. I don't think that was necessary. You could have just gone for earrings. I think she likes wearing all the jewelry, but a lot of this older jewelry, there's something about seeing it in HD, it doesn't look as good. Like if you look at old videos of like even the other, like there's something about the way that the diamonds sparkle on that old ass grainy grainy cameras. It's just not hitting. I mean, yeah, Camilla's not exactly the best model either. But I mean, it's not the worst I've seen them look. Actually looking half decent for once. Too bad about the ghoulish personalities. And you just know both Charles and Trump are wearing nappies. Charles looks exhausted. And honestly, he's 77, living with cancer, having to do these overseas trips. I mean, it still has not been as embarrassing as I thought it would be. But nonetheless embarrassing. There was also another, actually, these photos that you're looking at now, when Trump was standing next to Melania, he was trying to grab her hand and she didn't want to hold his hand. I suspect that she does little things every now and again to embarrass him and to get attention for herself. And also, the staging for the state dinner was tacky as hell. As they walked into the room, they staggered past this large portrait of a bloody Donald Trump from the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting. Cross. And then even, I mean, what has Trump done to the White House? Look at this. I'm surprised he hasn't put in naked gold statues of himself. What is with all this ugly gold? He's basically turned it into like Trump Tower. Trump even actually Charles mentioned it in his speech. He said, "And it is a particular pleasure to be back in this wonderful building, the heart of your democracy, now turned into a cheap ballroom. On this occasion, I cannot help noticing the readjustments to the East Wing, Mr. President. Following your visit to Windsor Castle last year, I am sorry that we, British of course, made our own attempt at real estate development of the White House in 1814. I don't, they're throwing around all these jokes and trying to add some diplomatic funnies. Trump has destroyed a historical building and is reportedly trying to build an extra wing in that building so that he can build a bunker. Like, there's nothing to joke about here. It's an insult to the American people. What an absolute joke. These are our leaders, folks. Anyway, rather interesting article about Meghan. And the Daily Fail's dangerous obsession with her. And I'm so glad more people are calling this out. Because it absolutely needs to be called out. So let's have a... I'm not actually going to read the whole article. I'm just going to read some commentary on the article. Because it's quite a long article to read. And it's also behind a paywall that I can't get past. So all of us here have watched the 10-year obsession that the Daily Fail have. And it will be 10 years exactly this autumn. That's when Harry and Meghan's relationship was outed in the press. 10 years, y'all. 10 years. And I've been here for 4 of those 10 years. Or if you're including Sussex Squad podcast, 6. Since that moment, all of Britain's print outlets have been obsessed with Meghan. Obsessed with talking about her race, her clothes, her background, her jewelry and everything else. Their coverage turned blatantly aurist, sexist and anti-American immediately, and it's never stopped. Where's the lie? She exited that island more than ago, and the tabloids especially still treat her like she's their number one royal. The most fixated outlet is without a doubt the Daily Fail. On average, the Daily Fail publishes at least 3 critical stories about Meghan every single day. But the number vastly increases if she's out and about and there are new photos. Well, the New World has done some interesting analysis about the Daily Fail's dangerous obsession with Meghan. Meghan still makes money for the Mail. Oh, no, it's Sherlock. I wonder how they could tell that Meghan still makes money for the Daily Fail. Is it the 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 articles a day that they write? The articles they make up? If you apply Occam's razor to the Daily Fail's enduring obsession with Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, the simplest explanation is an economic one. Let me also just say, second to the Daily Fail, and often actually outstrips the Daily Fail in terms of number of articles pumped out, not necessarily in readers, but the Daily Express. It pumps out so many stories focused on her because its readership keeps clicking on them. Oh, yes, and the royals had their own tab, and Meghan has her own tab within the royal tab. I don't even think Charles and Camilla have their own tab. If their interest in her evaporated, so would the Mail's output about her. But that won't happen anytime soon. The avalanche of stories creates more interest, which fuels the creation of even more stories. The constant streams online and in print. Over the course of one day during the Duke and Duchess's recent trip to Australia, April 16th, the Daily Fail website pushed out a story on the couple roughly every 2 hours. Oh, I'm surprised it's not even more than that. Between 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. The following day, it published 3 stories with the focus on Meghan in 12 minutes. One about the couple attending a rugby match, one about her posing for pictures at a paid event, and one focused on an oversized shirt that she'd worn to the trip. Oh, I'm surprised that they didn't do another 10 articles on her left leg, her right little finger, her middle toe, her front teeth, her left ear, It gives fresh meaning to the phrase up to the minute news. The Mail's contradiction. There's a contradiction at the heart of all of the Mail's coverage of Meghan. It consistently argues that no one is interested in her, while expending considerable energy to ensure that her every move is reported. And the idiots who read the Daily Mail don't seem to see that they are the ones that are fueling this, while also in the comment section talking about how she's irrelevant. Reporting on her appearance at the Her Best Life retreat in Sydney was a masterclass in the use of slight distortions. In story after story, the Mail implied that the event was created by the Duchess rather than one which she was simply being paid to appear. It sounded awful enough without the heavy spin applied by the Mail. Women being charged $1,700 pounds, or more for a weekend of coaching, yoga, sound healing, and other expensive forms of empowerment. But those women were not, as the Mail insisted over and over again, paying all that money simply to get a photo with Meghan. Exactly. It was a whole weekend. And everybody who takes part, the people at the spa, the staff, everybody has to get paid. They're talking about this once, the money that these women are spending on this event, forgetting that the money that they're spending is also paying somebody else's bills. The coaches that showed up, the yoga teachers that showed up, the sound healers that showed up, the DJ that showed up, the organizers that showed up. They all have to get paid. They've got families to feed. They were there willingly and wanted to see the Duchess of Sussex. Let's take a closer look at how the Mail framed it. They wanted to frame it as, they're just paying that money to show up for Meghan, as if there wasn't a whole weekend. And their attacks prove Meghan's previous statements. A lack of anything new to say about Meghan doesn't stop the Mail. 3 days after Harry and Meghan toured a hospital in Melbourne, it managed to create a story based on a few seconds of footage from the visit. The paper treated the clip as if it were a section of the Zapruder film capturing the assassination of JFK. The Mail story stretches to 564 words, probably all written by ChatGPT, by the way. Most of them taken from posts lifted from X. It's nothing but projection, nasty jokes, and smears from a social network, all turned into a grotesque parody of analysis. The only thing that separates the Mail from those social media obsessives poring over a clip to create a narrative that has very little relation to reality is the size of its megaphone. Yeah, the Daily Mail gets almost 100 million clicks a month, by the way. Yes, Black Queen, the monarchy talking about democracy. How cute, indeed. Democracy, my foot. Where's Andrew? And like the protesters keep yelling, how much did you know about Andrew and Epstein? Rahini, I keep hoping Meghan wears some edges just to see how they explain them. I bet they would call them sticky bangs. Oh. Yeah, Meghan would look cute with some baby hairs. Some baby hairs and like a slick back pony, like a long braided pony. Like the way the baddies on Instagram do their long braided ponies with some baby hairs. Waiting to see it. I'm waiting to see a baddie version of Meghan. Just pop out in a leather dress, looking like a Fashion Nova baddie. Just once, Meghan, just to piss them off, please. So over just 19 days in April of this year, the Daily Mail published 70 news stories, including Meghan as a hook. It is an obsession on an industrial scale. That's not to say that she should be beyond criticism. She's a public figure whose business relies on selling a story about herself, her husband, and her children. The thing is that they can never actually think of one single useful, sort of meaningful or justifiable thing to say. Like, even people that say things like Meghan shouldn't be above criticism. Okay, give me one thing that you believe that she should be genuinely criticized for. One thing. They can never give you anything. If the paper truly believed Meghan was a woman of no interest, it wouldn't expend so much time and resources on observing her every move. It knows there's money in that malice, so the machine rumbles on, indeed. I mean, it's a psychosis at this point. I think that Meghan is in a much better place in general, but the British media still have this sense of ownership over Meghan. Like, they should come back to their ratchet plantation where they bully people, sometimes even bully them to death. Okay, what happened to Amy Winehouse and Carolyn Flack? Anyway, Meghan has risen above, and don't give the any more ideas. Well, if we see an article in the Daily Mail about Meghan's toe, Meghan's right ear, her front tooth, you'll know where it came from. Yeah, I don't believe that Meghan actually took any money from the retreat. And I think the Daily Mail said that she took almost $100,000 or something. I'm pretty sure she's just doing this as a favor. You know, friend of a friend, women supporting women. And you know what? If the Her Best Life podcast grows and becomes something amazing, they probably will be paying Meghan six figures one day. I mean, Meghan can afford to just do things because she wants to. And because they align with her values and her brand. Okay. Just one last thing. I'm not gonna give it too much attention. I'm not gonna read the whole article. But there was a commemoration day in London that Kate showed up to. And just give me a sec, folks. And she wrote a handwritten note and misspelled Australia. Like, girl, I know we all have a bad day, but the thing is that the way Kate is infantilized so much, it makes it difficult to have any sympathy for her bad days and small mistakes. Because if this was Meghan, let this be Meghan, the press will be having a field day. They'll be writing 3 articles about Meghan's handwriting. So this was for Anzac Day. It's meant to honour the fallen soldiers from Australia and New Zealand. It was supposed to be a heartfelt, solemn and royal note signed by Kate Middleton and Prince William. Then people looked at the note and noticed something. Australian appeared to be misspelled Australian with an extra I. That does not belong there. And it's just a double standard, knowing full well that if this was Meghan who wrote something like this and made that small little mistake, they'd be acting as if she sold babies to the devil. That's how the British tabloids will be acting. So it's just a double standard in the way that Kate is infantilized that is just so unfair. Anywho, definitely not a flattering photo. And if it was Meghan, she would have been framed as incompetent, careless, too busy chasing Netflix deal to get basic spelling right. That's what they'd be saying. And it's also not actually Kate's first public spelling slip. Back in 2020, she wrote a message on the Houston station thanking transport workers for keeping the country, spelling country wrong, instead of with no U. Oh, sorry, with a U instead of an N. And that also got a polite media pass. Now, remind me again how much we pay for the royal family every single year. Anywho, didn't want to give that too much attention, just thought it was funny. All right, folks. Let's wrap things up with your comments. Thank you for a lovely April. Simone Black, am I the only one seeing ads during the lives? Some lives will have ads. Some lives will have more ads than others. We do have the ability to put ads during live streams now. It's a new feature. But you can skip the ads. But yeah, you can toggle on the back end how many ads get shown, but I'm still experimenting with the new ad features. So if you feel like the ads are too much, I can actually toggle them down. Let me know. It also depends on what country you're in, how many ads you get, what type of ads you get. So if you give me feedback in the comment section, then I could take that into account. So maybe on the next live, I will put the ads down. I can toggle it. Wendy, you're getting a lot. What country are you in, Wendy? Can you, okay, before we end the podcast, can you please tell me what country you are in and like how many ads you're getting and roughly how often you're getting them? Because if you're getting too many, then I can toggle it down. So if you put the comments now, I'll read them back in the replay. And then I can look at toning them down for the next. Because it's a new feature, so I don't know exactly how it looks like on your end. So it'll be good if you let me know. Thank you. All right. Thank you as always, folks. Appreciate you so much. Absolutely promise I do have an update about my candle line probably tomorrow. Because I actually got my new labels and stickers today and they look so much better than the last ones. Could probably do with one more update because maybe the text is too small, but I'll let y'all have a look at it and you can give me your feedback. Very excited about that. We're almost actually there with this. It's just one last push before I'm ready to pitch to investors, and then we'll see where this goes. I might get some investment money. I might not. But we'll see where it goes. Helen G, you said the ads are breaking up your podcast. Oh, okay. Okay, then I definitely need to toggle the ads down. All right. I will do that for the next podcast. I will redo the settings so that there's less ads during the live. All right. Have a good day, evening, wherever you are in the world, folks. And I'll see you in tomorrow's podcast. And tomorrow, it's the 1st of May, y'all. It's the 1st of May. I think tomorrow's a full moon as well. See you later, folks. Ciao.